Hey there, this is Antonical Oracle back with a new series that I'm doing for this channel to help it grow. This is going to be in relationship to how water signs and air signs are currently relating with each other in a relationship dynamic or a prospective interest, more or less. So with that being said, I'm going to do 7 cards across the board from each deck. Being headspace, heartspace, likely outcome on the end here, and then headspace, heartspace, likely outcome, and then a combined likely outcome between the two of them as the dynamics play out. So, I'm going to try and keep this video within the 15-minute range here because I feel like that's a good amount of time just for the appropriate amount of information to come out while still keeping the video kind of short and concise so everybody can see what it is that they're trying to get out there. If we need more in-depth stuff, I'll have to eventually take it over to private readings, but I'm still not currently offering any of those at the moment, as I'm just trying to really get this channel to grow. So likes, shares, and subscribes are the best thing right now for this channel to really help it grow. As every time a video gets liked, it gets bumped to the top of the page for YouTube, and it makes it easier for people to find this channel. And if it's helpful for you, it might be helpful for other people. With that being said, if you are interested in donating to the channel, I will leave a donation link on the channel from my previous YouTube channel. And that will just go towards trying to get better equipment to increase the production value for the channel, because I know right now the audio is a little bit echoey. I think the video quality isn't bad, but that could also obviously be improved. Let's just hop right into it here. I have pre-shuffled and pre-prayed. So what we have shown up under the water sign side, because this will be our water sign, this will be our air sign over here. I'm just trying to keep it consistent, and the other videos I've had all water signs over here. So, water signs, obviously, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, air signs, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. Let's see. So, under the headspace for the water signs, we have the Hierophant and the Ace of Swords showing up here. This is commitment, and they're looking for some sort of commitment, potentially. The idea of commitment, to me, this really reads as looking for something that is a lot more stable, looking for something that has some sort of tangible consistency to it, and the idea of that. And that's really what's going on inside the water signs headspace. Underneath the heart space here, we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. So there's this level of desiring stability in whatever the relationship they are looking for, and especially when they're looking for a romantic interest. They want to have something that's stable yet has the feelings, has something that has the potential for growth amongst the two of them. The likely outcome, though, we have the Two of Swords and we have the Four of Cups. So to me, this is like them having to make a choice. There's some sort of choice on whether or not this air sign is either the right person for them, and the reason being is that they feel like the emotions may not be quite balanced. What they're putting in may not be being reciprocated back in the correct manner, because we're seeing the Four of Cups being displayed as this lady that's really contorted in all of her emotions. So she's trying to balance everything and how the different energies are playing together. It really talks a lot about kind of having to act like a contortionist. You know, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, sometimes the interaction seems to flow really naturally, sometimes it may feel forced. Over here, underneath the air sign, we have the Tower with the Two of Swords. This talks a lot about a sudden shift in disruption and between the connection here, especially mentally. And this may be leading to a choice as far as the air sign goes. They may feel like they need to either cut this person off or proceed forward down the path and try and right wrongs or correct it, but it's obviously some very sudden shift. Something has happened, something has occurred here that is basically presenting them with this choice that has to be made as far as whether or not they want to continue on. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups. So this talks about wish fulfillment here. And this need to potentially relay an emotional message for further understanding between the two of them. I think this may be one of the things that the water sign has actually been feeling and kind of leading towards this emotional imbalance, is that maybe there hasn't been a lot of emotional communication or emotional passion relayed from the water sign. There maybe just has not been enough of the consistency that they're seeking out, and this is what we have being relayed on the water sign's headspace. So the likely outcome here is the Ten of Pentacles that met with the King of Swords. So we have this like home life idea, and there's a lot of abundance that they're trying to focus on. And to me, the air sign is really probably reading a lot about the dynamic and almost picking to stay less emotional. Potentially, this may be the choice they ultimately may decide that the connection makes more sense for them to be emotional or less emotional, keep their heart more in a cage, and focus more on kind of their career path or anything that's going to help further their home life balance, right? With us doing this many cards, obviously it takes a little bit just to get all these cards laid out, and it is a little bit hard to kind of talk and do cards at the same time, pull the cards at the same time. So if you guys are interested in me just having it kind of all laid out, it would make the readings a lot quicker for you guys in the interest of saving time. As well, just probably a lot easier and clearer of a reading, so I'm not trying to do everything all at once and talk while, putting cards together. And if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and leave a comment on the video here so that I'm aware of it and we can potentially change this up for the future readings. Okay, so we have here the Four of Pentacles with the Eight of Cups showing up under the headspace as the later development and kind of how things start to play out between people and the energy that they move into. And this talks about them kind of holding on to this idea of just moving away from the connection and moving away from something that may not be as fulfilling. Maybe there just wasn't enough emotional fulfillment for them, and that's kind of where they're at. So they're holding on to this idea of just walking away and moving on from the connection. This obviously leads to them having to make a choice, even though they were looking for something that was a little bit more stable and emotionally fulfilling and kind of more of like a relationship dynamic. It looks like there's this choice that gets made here by the water sign to go ahead and potentially let this connection go, even though they saw this as a potential for the connection, and maybe in the future there is the potential for the connection to grow. We do see the Ten of Wands with the Empress here showing up again underneath the likely outcomes for the water sign, and this talks about ending the burden of kind of just seeing this person as somebody who they're connected with. Even though they did see a lot of beauty and potential in the connection, there just wasn't a lot of emotional fulfillment for them. They weren't getting what they were seeking out, correct? So we have underneath the headspace for the air sign here, we have the Three of Wands and the Five of Pentacles showing up. So this talks about them realizing the ship has basically sailed, whether or not they made the choice or somebody else made the choice. And kind of based on what we're looking at on the water sign here, is that, things have happened, action has taken place, and now that the air sign may be feeling like all of a sudden they're kind of like left out in the cold between this connection. However, the air sign, I feel like, is really realizing that they have everything that they really need to continue to move on. So this, to me, almost seems like maybe this fly-by-night kind of romance, passion that I'm kind of connecting in here. And this may not be a reading for everybody, but ultimately the air sign I don't see as being like totally hurt by the ending of this. It's a sudden shift in the thing, and because things played out the way they did, the air sign's kind of just going like, all right, well, whatever, man. Shit happens, and I'm gonna keep doing me, even though I am realizing this connection may not happen. I still feel like I have everything I need to move on and proceed forward, whether or not that's with you or in a different direction. In the heart space, we have the Ace of Swords and the Star card showing up. So this talks about, them realizing that things may have been cut off, right? The air sign is probably realizing that things have been cut off, and I really feel like there's the water sign that probably did the cutting of the behavior here, and this to me doesn't really necessarily affect the air sign too terribly much. I think they understand that things come and close out for different reasons, and they're having faith that something better is going to be coming their way. They're looking for a better connection. So as sudden as this may have been, and as disruptive as this may have been for a little bit there, I really feel like the air sign is going in just kind of, letting this go and able to move forward and process things out without much regret. They're having faith in the bigger picture here, whether that means that the connection will come full circle all the way around, or that something bigger, better will come towards them. Under the likely outcome, we have the Sun and the Three of Cups. So this talks about a bit of time and rejoicing here. And really just having a new perspective on everything they're doing. This talks to me that they may have potential people, other people in the picture for the air sign already, and this may have just been a limiting factor all around. This could have just been like, hey, I'm going to just continue to hang out with other people, other friends, and really just going that route because I'm sure I'm going to meet somebody else that better fits my who I am, what I'm looking for, things of that nature. We have a likely outcome between the two of them. The Three of Pentacles, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Moon, and the Ace of Pentacles here. So, Three of Pentacles in this deck, I really read as some sort of messages, like text messages or otherwise, that have just shifted the dynamic between the two of them, allowing that chapter to close out. So how they may have viewed each other as potential options or potential suitors in the past, I feel like that kind of connection is probably closed out, and we have the Moon card representing probably a time of darkness, confusion between the two of them. This may have been some clearing up of the confusion. This may have led to more confusion, because we have the Ace of Pentacles here, and to me this allows for basically almost a clean close and like of the connection between the two of them, in order for a new dynamic to play out, whether that is between the two of them or a new dynamic from somebody else. And based on everything I'm seeing, I really feel like it's probably something new from somebody else. A new source kind of comes in and sparks somebody's interest that's a lot more tangible for both of them to enjoy. If you guys have been seeking guidance or looking for any information between these two connections, I hope this was helpful. This is an Tentacle Oracle signing out. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe on the video. It's good karma, and it really helps the channel grow. Thank you.